Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and this is the new Peterbilt 389 oil field tractor. Now, there is another variant of this truck which has basically an oil field skid bed. We're going to get into that one in a future video, but this one is going to be more focused on the tractor itself because the tractor is what a lot of y'all are going to be using for things like cargo hauling and logging and kind of the variety of tasks that you would do on a campaign map. Also, you can get some very, very close detail at the outside of the stacks. Either way, the cabin is really well detailed and the customization is absolutely immense. So before we go any further on, let's go ahead and head on into the garage and go through the customization. Also, side note, if you would like to skip ahead to where we start driving this thing, I will go ahead and throw a timestamp on the screen right now so y'all can skip ahead to the driving in case you are not interested in the customization or you don't want anything spoiled. But once again, let's go ahead and jump into the garage. Now, first of all, we're going to start with the engines. Now, this thing comes factory with an A+ power to weight rating from a iX15 15-liter. Then you have the ruggedized iX15 and then the twin turbo 15-liter iX15. Now, this is going to boost you up to an S+, and so does the mid-range option, but this one is going to be essentially the one that will blow the other two out of the water. So let's go ahead and I don't know. Like, I kind of want to go with the mid-range option, but I also want to go with the wild, wacky, over-the-top option. And I'm kind of like, Oh, I'm so split. I tell you what, we'll go with the maximum option right now. It's not like we don't have the cash for it, and we'll come back to it later if we feel like it's too much or too over the top. Now, you have a balanced, a fine-tune, a high-range, and an off-road. For the variety of stuff we're going to be using this thing for, I'm going to say probably the high range right now because it will be spending a lot of time on the road. Now, the active is locked at the moment and you have to explore blank to find it, apparently. You have the stock suspension and you also have the raised suspension. I'm just going to go ahead and run the raised because I feel like it's not really going to be all that detrimental to anything we are going to do. Now, you start off with 47s and you pretty much stay with 47s throughout the entirety of the list of tires. However, I will say this thing has some really, really cool tire combinations, like, for example, these TWM Terra tires with included traction bars, making them amazing on snow and ice. You can even throw the blue traction bars on them if that's something that you're interested in. Although I'm probably going to run the chains or the Extreme Terra combo tires, although we're kind of in an area where the chains are basically required, so that's what we're going to go ahead and run. Now, we've got a heavy oil field winch, we've got an engageable diff lock, and then as far as snorkels and intakes go, you do have a couple of different styles, painted and non-painted, that you can run if you so choose. Now, I think for this one, we're probably going to run the retro style unpainted. Now, frame add-ons wise, we have the oil field winch rack and tail roll. We also have the log carrier, or rather the front piece of the log carrier, have an IM50 loading crane, an LC 3.8 loading crane, a saddle high, and a saddle low. So we're going to run probably the low saddle for now, but we might go on to the high a little bit later. And as a matter of fact, just so we have the full range of choice in the trailer store a little bit later, I'm going to go ahead and just take both trailer saddles off. That way the trailer store can automatically install whichever one is required for the given trailer. Now, rooftop items, you got a lot. You've got a bunch of different cab lights. You've got a bunch of different horn options. You got a bunch of different beacon options, which I'll go ahead and, let's see. I'll go ahead and run these beacon options, or rather that particular option. And then you have a multitude of visors you can run as well, both painted and non-painted. I actually kind of dig the drop visor, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on how I want to run it. We'll probably just run it in metal for now, and then later on down the road, if we want to kind of change that up, we totally can. Now, rear fenders wise, we could do just standard mud flaps all the way at the back. We could do OE quarter fenders. I'm kind of back and forth on whether or not I want them at all, because in a lot of the areas that we're going to be using this truck, I don't know if the mud flaps are really going to be all that important. Now, oil field bumper, this thing looks wild, and it better be weighted with the amount of mass that it's, or at least it looks like it's holding. It better be properly heavy. Now, you've also got the Brute bumper, the OE bumper, and the Moose bumper, which this thing is another one that will basically get anything and everything out of its way. So what we're going to run is I think we're actually going to just stick with the oil field bumper, because that one seems to apply the best to pretty much everything else that we're doing with the truck. Now, we've got the modern headlights on it right now, kind of back and forth. I do like the retro singles, but again, that is entirely up to your personal preference. Now, you can run a logging style cab protector though, which is definitely going to be great if you're building this as a logging rig. And then aesthetic lights, that is entirely up to you. So let's see. I think I'll run that combo. That combo looks good. Then you have a metal bug shield or a plastic bug shield that you can run really either or. And then exhaust options wise, you have a tremendous amount of stacks that you can go through and just really pick whichever one works best for you. Now, let's see. I actually think we're going to go with these. These look sick. So now, we didn't actually get them selected. All right. Now, you can do really a little bit of customization with the wheel options, but we're just going to leave those default. And then color options wise, that's wild. That actually applies to the frame, the winch setup. That is freaking incredible. I love the way that looks. I really, genuinely love the way that looks. Let me see. Whoa. Oh, that looks nuts. Some of these color combinations are absolutely wild. You've got multiple color flips as well. I really like this one, the red, white, and the black stripe detail. That looks really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and run that. Although it looks like at the present moment in time, we can't put beans on the dash, which is very depressing. All right, so now we've got what I believe to be one of the absolute sickest looking semi setups in SnowRunner yet. So let's fire it up and throw a trailer behind it. That sounds so good. Let's give it some beans. Oh, the horn sounds good too. All right, let's pull on up. And this is going to definitely be I would say for us continuing on, it's probably going to be a multi-purpose build. So we can kind of use it for just about whatever we want. Now, coming up soon, as far as our contracts go, one of the next ones that we could do, let's find one that's really good for hauling. Now, let's see, disrupted supplies. We could do the first trip. No, I don't know about that. That one's a tool trailer. This one is, this one you actually have to rebuild a bunch of fishing cabins, or you have to, I guess, deliver things to fishing cabins. I mean, I could do that. I mean, it's a lot of busy work, but we could definitely use this truck to knock it out. So we'll go ahead and run that. Now, it does give you a pretty good amount of cash, though. So let's see. I'm going to run, the wide flatbed semi would be good for this, and I think it would match the height of the truck. Well, it matches the height of the truck perfectly. Oh, this is going to be such a good setup for knocking these deliveries out. And yes, I know it is, I know it's completely unloaded right now, and so there's no weight on the trailer, but even with it being completely unloaded, it is immensely powerful. In terms of how it gets up to speed, this thing is nuts. Let's see if we can just ease it through here. Oh, lockers are always on. I went to turn them on and I didn't realize they were always on. You could use this for anything on any map and essentially get away with it as long as you didn't get it into an area that it just couldn't fit, you know? All right, let's bring it on in here. And the fact that it's also like a day cab setup makes it so much more maneuverable. All right, let's see. Let's get you loaded. I don't know if we actually have any consumables in this zone. Let's see. Oh, yeah. No energy. Okay. All right. Turn on generator. And we can also, let's see, we can refuel the generator as well. And even though that completely depleted the fuel in the Mac, we can just refuel the Mac later. It's not really a big deal. And so now, let's see. Oh, where is, there we go. All right, consumables. I'm just gonna do as many as I possibly can. Well, 20 should be good. 20 should be enough. Now let's see, consumables. There's 5 loaded up. And so, oh yeah, we don't even need that many, but at the very least, it's not a bad thing to have a lot of them. So we'll drop them off at the first fishing cabin, which is literally, well, pretty much right around the corner. I don't know why, but that horn is like super satisfying. All right, so let's see. Oh, well, I'm dumb. I didn't realize you could actually leave through the back right here, although it looks a little tight, so it's not really gonna be any big deal at all that we wind our way out around the main road and then go into the side road once again. This truck is probably not gonna complain about it either way. All right. Should be just about where we need to go. It's so, like, I expected the suspension to be super stiff in terms of, like, going down bumpy roads, but not even remotely a problem. All right. Because this is so overkill for, like, the type of delivery that we're doing. It is so overkill. Oh, my God. All right, boom, and done. There's the first 2, and then now we just got to make our way around to the second cabin and then head on down the river for the 3rd. And then finally, the 4th, which is all the way down there at the end. But those we will do off camera. But now, at the very least, y'all have a basic understanding of how this truck sounds, looks, drives, and what the customization options are. But don't worry, we're going to put it into some much more gnarly hauling situations later on down the road. And if y'all enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. And I will see y'all next time.